Welcome to Dari Marana YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about maintenance on starter. So, a motor starter panel, mainly its routines, maintenance and routines mainly includes what are the inspections and maintenance of motor starter that we need to do. So, a starter panel routine means inspection and cleaning of the contactors. Contactors means is the switch inside the starter panel box. So first we have to check for connections in the starter panel whether they are all right, condition is good and all, and we need to clean of the complete starter panel. We have to check the terminal box for loose connection, and we have to do visual inspection of overall starter panel. These are the main checks that we need to do. Then after that, this is a picture of a motor starter panel. We all have seen it. Then why the starter panel routines and maintenance are important? Because every time we switch on motor, the panel get energized and current flows through it. By the time that when we on or off a switch, that also a small spark is generated in the contacts for a fraction of a second. In case of poor contact, the spark will damage, leading to pitting and scoring marks along with some carbon deposits. So this is the reason why we need to do maintenance and all. Every time when we switch on motor, we all know that the panel is getting energized. When we switch on and off, for a fraction of a second, there will be having spark. But if there is a loose connection, this spark will lead to pitting and scoring marks, and finally along with some carbon deposits. So what are safety measures to be followed by starting a motor panel? So first we need to have starting means switch off the main power supply from the circuit breaker. Then we have to take out the main fuse from the starter panel, and if required we have to take control fuse also. Then we have to put lockout tag, set men at work. Then we have to inform the engineer who is in charge of a particular machinery that we are doing routine inspection of the starter or maintenance of the starter panel. You have to inform the engineer who is in charge also. Then how to carry out the motor starter panel maintenance and all. So to open the motor starter panel, we need a special type T-type key, which is always found in the hand of electrical officer. So we need to inform him. From him we have to take it, and panel can be opened with that T-type key when the breaker is switched off. Then after taking out the moving contact and arc cuts, we have to keep a fine emery paper or a contact cleaner or clean cloth. We have to clean the surface and maintain it properly. We have to do proper maintenance using emery paper and a clean cloth. And we have to clean good evaporative type contact cleaner. Then we have to mark the moving contacts when we have to do proper marking when we are removing the items, both fixed and moving parts. Then after cleaning and all, the fixed contacts should be placed back as per the markings. Then we have to check for any loose connections inside the panel. By visual inspection we can identify the contacts condition, but to take out the contact, clean it, and we have to place it back. And we have to measure the contact width using vernier caliper at least three different places, and we have to note down the value. And simultaneously we have to take same type new contact and note down the width value using vernier caliper, and we can compare the value that we have taken and a new contact also. If the difference between the value is bigger, we need to replace the contact. If it is not much big, then no problem. If it is very bigger, we need to replace or we need to renew it. Then make sure that the measured both single contact must be same on the both side of moving and fixed contact, otherwise there will be possible of spark generation. So we have to make sure that the value of single contact must be on the both sides in the both moving and fixed type contacts, otherwise possibility of spark generation is high. Then if you clean a deposited carbon, if we not clean the deposited carbon, like I said, on and off there will be spark formation. So along with spark, pitting corrosion will be also there. So along with it, carbon will also form. If it does not regularly clean the deposits of carbon, it can lead to two main issues. One, poor contact, and another, increased fire hazard. Poor contact means it will increase spark amount and frequency. Fire hazard means if a carbon deposit is too much, it will act as a fuel for fire. We have the carbonaceous fire. Then it will turn to electrical fire also. So these are the things if you don't clean the deposition of carbon at regular intervals. Then inside the motor starter panel, check should be carried out for loose connection to avoid the short circuit, spark or accident and all. We have to check for the loose connection and all. Otherwise, spark or accident chances are there. Then how to check the loose connection? Loose connection means we can use screwdriver. Tighten or we have to, for tightening we can use screwdriver if we found anything loose. Or using your hand, if the wire is pull out, so almost a pull out loose and all, you can take out the wire. After completely cleaning it, we can reconnect. And we have to check the insulation of the connected wires. Because of aging and spark, there is a possibility of damage of wire. So we have to check the insulation also. Some old wires there will be chance of aging and spark are the possibility there. So we have to do that also for the loose connection. So we can say motor is a dynamic machine. Yes, there is a moment in it, and therefore there will be chance of vibrations are always there. So this also needs to loose connection in the terminal boxes of the motor. So we have to open the terminal box of motor by loosening the nut. So after loosening the nut, open the terminal box. Then we can check the tightness by shaking the wire, by taking the wire and pull it back. If it is connection is holding good, then we can say the tightness is good. Then use the correct size spanner to, if it is not, then we can use the correct size spanner to tighten the connection of the wires. Then if there are any loose connection, it will lead to sparks in the terminal box. Like I mentioned, if there is loose connection, there are chances of spark to come out and chance of finally leads to short circuit or loose connection and finally leads to a electrical fire. So we need to be very careful. We need to do routine maintenance and we need to do proper visual inspection. Then after the maintenance is done on the motor starter panel, remove the lockout tag. Before starting the work, we have put the lockout tag, that my network and all. Then after finishing work, we have to remove the lockout tag. Then we have to insert the main and control fuses that we removed while working. Before starting the work that I mentioned, we will take out the fuses and all. But after finishing on all, we will place it back. We will put the main and control fuse in the starter panel. Then we will switch on the power supply from the circuit breaker. Then we will inform the duty engineer about for this particular machinery that we have the work is done, and we will start the machine and check that if there is everything is good and all, or we check if there is abnormal sound or all the readings and parameters are good and all. That are the things that we will be doing in a check maintenance done on starter and all. Thank you.